Well, my job is to ask
why.
Y'all
get a job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something, and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
What he did this offseason has proven to be a dereliction of duty.
All in. All in. All in. We're all in with these young guys coming on.
I'm sick. Happened Sunday. Now, I'm not talking to these yahoos on the end of this phone. I'm talking to you, the fans that are listening this morning.
Jerry, come on, bro. You better than that.
He would actually say that publicly. That tells me a lot about a man. And for Jerry to say this publicly and say, I'm not laughing, I'm not joking, I'm out.
It's an admission of guilt. It's an admission of you've done the wrong thing. The best path forward for the Cowboys to win is for Jerry to get his ass out the way.
GM Jerry has failed owner Jerry. What he said today makes that loss pale in comparison, because what he said today was freaking ridiculous.
How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys fan, are you down the ride? Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the angry Cowboys fan. And I gotta talk to y'all about the most recent interview between Shan and RJ and Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan. Cowboys Nation, as of right now, y'all have heard about what happened between 105.3 The Fans, Shan and RJ, and Jerry Jones. During that interview, it got super heated from the owner of the Cowboys and Shan and RJ. It also showed Cowboys Nation a few things about Jerry Jones and the culture in Cowboys Nation. One thing that Jerry Jones doesn't like to do is take responsibility for where this team is right now. When the team is winning, yeah, he'll take responsibility for the success, but when the team is losing, it's all on the coaching staff, it's all on the players, it's all their fault. But anyhow, he expected to come on this interview and continue to get softball questions, but to my amazement, Shan and RJ gave a little pushback to Jerry Jones at around the 13-minute mark of the interview, and that's where Jerry Jones snapped. Got a little spicy, Cowboys Nation. So let's take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, and then y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, angry Cowboys fans, let's go ahead and take a listen to the first clip from Jerry Jones at 105.3 The Fan.
Okay, so Jerry, 1970, a little different from this past off season in building the team we're talking about today, which there was a lot of criticism that you guys didn't add, didn't spend, and don't add, and don't spend, and are not aggressive enough with some of the problems that are still haunting the Cowboys today that we see play out on the field. That's the point of talking about the offseason.
Oh, I remember those criticisms very well. Okay, so what?
Are they playing out to be accurate?
What's your point? What's your point?
My point is, it seems like
Listen, let me tell you what I'll do. Let me tell you what I'll do about it. I will let us sit down and look at the decisions we've made over the last several years. Okay? I'll look at it. Now, if you think I'm interested on a damn phone call with you over a radio and sitting here and throwing all the good out with the dishwater, you have got to be smoking something over there this morning. I'm not. And I really don't, and I don't even want our listeners to listen to me, to talk about, this is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask
why. Get a job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you.
Cowboys Nation, I love the pushback that Shan and RJ gave Jerry Jones. A lot of the media talking heads, they're scared to bring up those crucial questions because they're scared of this type of outcome. Yeah, they was laughing in the background. You can hear Shan and RJ laughing, but you could also tell that they felt attacked. You could tell that they felt uneasy about the situation, that they were a little confused over the situation. They were literally there doing a great job with this interview, and just because Jerry Jones doesn't want to look at the man in the mirror and fess up to his situation, he's going to talk slick with his tongue. He's going to throw around his rich weight, if you know what I mean. This interview was very telling about Jerry Jones. This interview probably showed me more about Jerry Jones than any sit-down interview that he has had in the past. But you know what? Let's keep it rolling with the second clip, all right? Roll the clip.
You're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry,
okay? Y'all really think you're going to sit here with a microphone and tell me all of the things that I've done wrong and without going over the rights?
Well,
now, listen, we both know we're talking to a lot of great fans and a lot of great listeners. And I am very sorry for what happened out there Sunday. I'm sick about what happened Sunday. Now, I'm not talking to these yahoos on the end of this phone. I'm talking to you, the fans that are listening this morning. And we can spend a lot of time going over zigging and zagging. One of the stupidest things I've ever done that anybody has ever analyzed is by the Cowboys.
Now, Jerry, it doesn't take a genius to sign your player before they become an extravagant number on your salary cap. Especially if you know deep down that you're going to retain him anyway. Or maybe you didn't want to retain him. Maybe you traded for a quarterback in hopes for said quarterback to be good enough to replace Dak Prescott. And when said quarterback didn't show you anything through training camp and the preseason, you were left stuck with a record-breaking contract number for your QB1 and with no other option. That's nothing that the players did. You did that, Jerry Jones. Remember, nothing gets through you until it's checked off by you. You got to be the smartest man in the room, don't you, Jerry Jones? Well, we'll talk about that more during the Raw and Uncut portion, so you don't want to miss that. Now, going into the last clip, Jerry Jones continues to berate Shan and RJ for doing their job at a high level. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that clip, and then we're going to come back and unpack this Raw and Uncut. Let's roll the clip.
You say you
so
don't...
We can go into this. I'm saying what I'm saying. Don't tell me what I'm saying.
Okay.
You listen to what I'm saying.
Jerry, why are you getting so mad at us? We're just asking you why the blowouts are happening, the historical differences at home. We're just asking about it on behalf of the fans, and you're getting real ticked off and mad at us. We're just
I'm not. Hey, can I tell you something, guys? I don't get mad at people that I can not be with if I don't want to be with. I don't get mad. You're asking me for a response, and I'm giving you a response. We got to play better, and we got to play better at specific points. No, there's no looking for stepping out here and bringing in 20 new players between now and the bye. That's not the way it works. But I like the players that we have. You go around this league, and you will see a high recognition of the quality of players we've got. We should be able to not have happened to us Sunday with our players that we've got. Shouldn't have the highest paid quarterback in the NFL and not having have more production, but he's got to have blocking. He's got to have the routes run right. And the other thing he's got to do is it helps if he weren't playing somebody as strong as Detroit was Sunday. They were pretty strong. We hope we get a chance to show that those type of things I just mentioned works.
I mean, if you're in the playoffs, you're going to be playing teams that are as strong as the Detroit Lions, Jerry. What are you talking about? But I'm super glad this interview happened, Cowboys Nation. You have no idea how happy I am that this interview happened. But let's go ahead and talk about it. Y'all ready for my Raw and Uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Why you mad, bro? Why you mad, Jerry? Why you blowing up toward guys on 105.3 The Fan when they're only just doing their job? They're out there doing their job and a damn good job to boot, and you want to blow up against them? They weren't the ones who didn't make any moves during the offseason. They weren't the ones who waited to sign Dak Prescott. They weren't the ones who waited until the last minute to sign CeeDee Lamb. They weren't the ones who allowed a multi-year Pro Bowler and Tyron Smith to just walk out the front door. They weren't the ones who didn't pick up the phone to call Derrick Henry when we know that we needed a power back. They were not the ones telling Cowboys Nation and the players that they'll have to do more with less. They weren't the ones that were saying that we were going to be all in. That was you, Jerry Jones. And then you want to pull the typical rich guy shit and threaten somebody's job all because you're not doing yours. You want to threaten these guys on the radio all because they're giving you a little bit of pushback during an interview? But this interview was extremely telling about our owner, Cowboys Nation. Something that you're going to have to read between the lines a little bit to actually understand. Listen to what Jerry Jones says during this interview. He was talking about getting other radio personalities in there to replace Shan and RJ because they didn't do something that he liked. They pushed back on him. They stood up to Jerry Jones. They had a difference of opinion with Jerry, and Jerry's response was to threaten their employment, and you can't for a second convince me that Jerry Jones couldn't call down there and have Shan and RJ fired. He definitely has that type of pull down in the DFW. He was ready to throw these men's jobs on the line in order to have more favorable questions being asked to him. Yes, men. The kind of men that Jerry surrounds himself with. The very same men that Jerry Jones hires to coach the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry literally has the final say in everything that is Dallas Cowboys. Even who plays, who needs more playing time, or who should be targeted more on the field. I bet Mike McCarthy has to come up with two separate schemes. His scheme and one scheme if Jerry Jones decides to intervene during the game. But real talk, Cowboys Nation, look at what happened during this interview and picture what it may be like for Mike McCarthy going in there and asking for a man or a trade because it'll better the team. Imagine if you have a better take on how to better this culture in Cowboys Nation. You got to look forward to either agreeing with Jerry Jones or him getting somebody in there that's going to agree with him, just like in this interview. If you don't see what I'm talking about now, then you will never see it. But our culture issues made an appearance on 105.3 The Fan today. Our culture problems is front and center with Shan and RJ today. Jerry Jones is our culture problem. I know a lot of people got blown away about how spicy Jerry Jones got, and they've never seen him be so chippy with a radio personality. I look at it from a deeper perspective, though, Cowboys Nation. For the last 30 years, this has been the attitude from our front office of the Dallas Cowboys. To keep it a buck, you can be the most talented player or coach in the league, but if you disagree or push back on Jerry Jones, you could potentially lose your job. Just ask Jimmy Johnson. Now, the Amari Cooper trade is looking a little bit different, if you ask me. And I'm not talking about a future trade. I'm talking about the past trade to the Cleveland Browns. In a fit of rage with Shan and RJ, Jerry Jones showed exactly what is and has been wrong with this organization for the past 30 years. This yes man mentality is going to keep us on the losing side of sports. It may get Jerry Jones a boatload of money by treating this organization like a promotion and not a real NFL team. But the Dallas Cowboys brand will continue to suffer and will not be able to return to those glory days of winning championships. And this is my final word, and I'll end the video with this. Jerry's words sounded like they came from a man who had an epiphany. That all his current woes when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, they're self-inflicted. For those that struggle with responsibility and accountability taken, this is the type of response that you're gonna get. Threats. Oh, it can't be their fault because they're the smartest man in the room. Their way of thinking has netted them 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. Well, I'll tell you, Jerry, we struggle with the run because of you. CeeDee Lamb gets doubled and triple coverage because of you. The coach's staff has their hands tied because of you. We haven't made it to an NFC championship appearance in almost 30 years because of you. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to remain bullheaded and continue to beat your head against a brick wall? Or are you going to start changing how business is conducted at the Star? Are you going to continue to conduct business as usual? Or will you see that the NFL is about evolution and adaptation? Will you actually take a look at yourself in the mirror and admit that how you're doing business is what's holding this team back from accomplishing its goal of getting to a Super Bowl? Or will you just get men in the organization that'll tell you what you want to hear, that'll tell you that you're doing great? More yes men. This organization needs to change the way it looks toward the NFL, but it can't due to the fact that its owner refuses to change. People say that the owner doesn't put on pads and play during the Sunday's game, but he is responsible for who plays in Sunday's game. And from the looks of this interview, Jerry's also responsible for the amount of confidence in our coaching staff. In return, how much confidence our players have on the field. I've said it once, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. This team will only go as far as Jerry Jones takes us. This has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. What did you think about the exchange between Shan and RJ, 105.3 The Fan, and an entitled Jerry Jones? Do you see what I'm talking about in this video? Let's have a conversation about it in the comments section. If you're digging the content and want to help get it out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like on the video and share it with your friends and family who are Cowboys fans. If you are DC for life and you're sick and tired of the way the Dallas Cowboys have been ran for the past 30 years, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or Madden 25 and College Football 25 gameplay. This interview represented everything wrong with the Dallas Cowboys and how it sits today. Remember, it starts from the top and it trickles down. Will Jerry have this epiphany and come out of it with a lesson learned? Or will he continue to believe that he's the smartest man in the league? What happens during this bye week will tell us everything we need to know. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.